Every now and then, depending on the type of product or service and depending on the agency, Sam's will route you to another site. For me, that is the only time I'm going to another site. That's the only time I'm going to another site, when Sam send me there. So they'll either send me here to this PIEE site, excuse me, or they'll send me to Unison Marketplace. All right. Now, don't ask me anything about Unison Marketplace, because I don't rock with them like that. Okay. But with that being said, everything about the project is going to be listed in this section right here. So you don't have to do any guessing. Okay. They've removed all the guesswork for you. All of the details around the project will be listed here. And I've already opened this site. It pretty much mimics, right? It pretty much mimics the SAM site. Okay. And then I'm going to have all my links here about the project. Now, it is your responsibility as the prime contractor to ensure you have reviewed both of these sites through and through. And that's the information that's included with them. But we don't have a lot of time to go over that, and I need you to do something for yourself. I'm only going to show you three important sections. That is the service requirement, the pricing sheet, and the instructions to offer. Service requirements, pricing sheet, and instructions to offer. So while they doing that in the chat, let me go ahead and open this up and pull this back. All right, so the service requirements sometimes will be listed as the PWS, Performance Work Statement, or Statement of Work, SOW. Okay, open it up. Make sure you review it. You see it talks a little bit about the background. Okay, the agency that is requesting this, they're giving you the scope details. It talks about the deliveries, requirement, qualifications. What else do we have? Personnel, the need for personnel. Sometimes we have definitions in here explaining. So that's why I say you don't have to put too much thought into this. They're telling you everything about the project. You must review, and read this entire section before you do anything. That's the first thing you should do. Read everything. It talks about period of performance, okay, and any other special requirements around the job that you're around this project. Okay, so make sure you read this before you begin reaching out to subcontract. Now, once you are comfortable with reading this, and you've began reaching out to subcontractors, once they make connections with you, you want to send them a copy of this, highlighting key important areas of this section. They don't need everything, okay? They don't need everything. They just need enough information to understand the project and what's going to help them prepare their quote. I'm going to give you some talking points, all right? I need you to be comfortable when you're talking to the subcontractor. It's just like anybody that you're talking to. You don't have to put your corporate voice on and do all this stuff. Be professional, all right? But get on the phone and get off the phone, because you got to call a lot of subcontractors, okay? All right. From there, we're going to be looking at our pricing sheet, all right? The pricing sheet is pretty self-explanatory. It is broken down by your base year and then your option years. So this project is, oh, here we go, right in my face. Okay, so here's our base year, and then it's broken down for our option years. And they did give you instructions over here of what needs to be filled out. Okay, so it's broken down by description, quantity, unit, pounds, month, all right, pricing that the subcontractor will fill out, and then they're going to calculate the total. Now, you're not in the linen laundry industry. You don't know pricing. You're not in Hawaii. you don't know pricing, the best way for you to kind of get a gauge of the price is to conduct market research. So you're doing a similar process to what the government does. Okay. You want to get anywhere from 3 to 4 quotes back. From there, you can say, okay, I kind of have an idea, especially if the pricing is close. You can say, okay, I kind of got an idea of what the pricing is in that area. Now, some contractors may see this as, which it is a good opportunity, and say, hey, I'm going to throw a little bit of extra in there. And they may just be, you know, vastly different from the other 2 or other 3. We know you price gouging, okay? So have effective communication, right, with your subcontractors. Negotiate the pricing, especially if you are locking in on one subcontractor, but you see that their pricing is just drastically higher than the other. Ask them, hey, can you give me an itemized breakdown on your pricing? Why is your pricing so high? I'm out here. I'm getting bids from others, and your pricing is coming in just a little bit higher. Somebody may not understand the project and may just be blind bidding, or someone may be just bidding low just because. Okay, so during that time when you're interacting with them, you'll be able to determine that. Now, once you lock in with the subcontractor that aligns with you, as well as their pricing is reasonable, you can use those other quotes that you've received to kind of determine your profit. All right. Now, I need you to keep this in mind. Every project isn't the same. So you won't quote it the same way in terms of your profit. All right. You got to come up with that comfortable rate for yourself and then just include it into their price to recalculate this. Okay. Now, what you're not going to do is turn around and double double the cost to what the subcontractor gives you. This takes you completely out of being competitive at this point. All right. So this is part of the process where you want to be competitive. Our next section, the instructions to offer. So before you ask me, hey, I need help with my technical proposal, I can very well do that. And I'm going to tell you, go sign up for the mentorship program. And I'll give you my exact blueprint, word for word. Okay? Do you have a base increase you use? It just depends. It depends on what pricing the subcontract is giving me. It depends on what the subcontractor pricing is giving me. And I would really have to dive deep into what this particular project requires. But it just depends. So my price never stays the same across the board. They increase, why won't I increase? I'm working just as hard. So I don't want you to interpret this as, I see the project, I find a subcontractor, I slide this information over to him, and then I go on about my day. That's not how that works. That's actually illegal. Okay. And I know that it may be out there as being delivered as such, as a hook and bait. Okay. And to each his own, but that's not what this is. Okay. Just because you're not on ground doesn't mean you're not going to be working. All right. So our instructions to offer. When you say, I don't know what to do, how to submit, how to prepare a proposal, all this other kind of stuff, just tell me you don't want to read. Because remember I said in the beginning, they're going to tell you, you don't have to think. They've already thought for you. They're going to tell you everything. You just have to respond. Don't overthink this. A lot of people overthink this. Just respond to whatever it is that they're asking you. All right. So as you see here, they're giving us general information of what's going to be required for this project under the instructions to offer. Here's the thing. Everything that they are asking for of you, you're going to be asking for that information from the subcontract. Y'all see how easy that is? Y'all see how easy that is? Just like that. So, your instructions. Offer proposal shall consist of 4 separate volumes: administrative, technical approach, past performance, price, and response. So I don't need to have a level of certain expertise in this industry. I don't need, excuse me, I don't need to have past performance. I'm going to get that information. Now, here's where you have to pay close attention. Okay? This is why a lot of people are not having a lot of success, right? They're just throwing stuff together or adding extra stuff that's not asked of. Here, they're giving you the proposal format, okay? They mean that if they tell you to title your page or give us a cover page, right? They want you to do that. If they say put the font and the size a certain type of way, that's what they want from you, okay? It speaks to not only you following the instructions, but what are you gonna do once you are awarded the contract and it's time to get on ground? You see what I'm saying? So make sure you pay attention to that. They're giving you this illustration of what it is that they're wanting. Okay, let's continue to scroll down. Now, there will be times that you find a project where it says the prime contractor, and if you're subcontracting, I'm paraphrasing, you must provide the following. So that's letting you know in that language that, okay, now it's something that I have to supply as instead, and I can still get details from my subcontractor. So they may ask you to have proof of funds, all right? Meaning insurance, okay? Go out and get insurance, business insurance, just for this project. Add the price into your profit, let it pay for itself. Okay? That makes sense? If they're asking for certifications and things like that, right? If they're asking for past performance, take a step back, right? Reflect on things that you have done. You may used to work at a laundry facility, so you may have experience. All right, you may was a manager there, okay, top supervisor or something. Think about that. That's still past performance, ladies and gentlemen. Make sense? So we talked about the page size and font. I mean, they're breaking this down. What they're wanting in volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. So make sure you thoroughly read this. If it takes you more than one time, okay, make sure you have everything. Now let's scroll down to the next section. And I usually tie this in with the instructions to offer. This is golden. This section right here, this FAR clause is golden. 52212-2. Evaluation commercial products and commercial services. Listen, they told you what to submit. All right. Now they're going to tell you how they're going to base the award, what they're looking for. This should tell you that as you start to prepare your document for submission, let me go check on this to make sure I'm in line with how they're gonna award this contract, what they're looking for. All right. I think a lot of people miss this and they're just turning in whatever the subcontractor is giving them. They're not even checking, you know, the terms and conditions that's coming from the subcontractor that can be totally different from what the government requires. You do that, you find yourself later on down the line in a situation, and nobody's not going to be able to help you get out of that situation. Okay? This is why it is important for you to review this section. All right? Let's see. They're looking at technical and past performance, okay? And whatever else that they're asking for, pricing and any additional, because we saw that it had multiple links. So they're looking at all of that information. Basically, when you turn in your stuff, everything needs to be detailed. Now, I'm not saying go out here and write a book because you do have page limits, but keep in mind, we don't know the person on the other side, the reviewer. They don't know anything about you or your company. So when you turn your stuff in, it needs to speak high volumes of you, that you are capable of getting the job done. You and your employees, subcontractor, are capable of getting this job done. Let me keep going forward. Okay. Payment terms. Payment terms. Standard payment terms are a net 30. Standard payment terms are a net 30. Okay. Pay attention to the terms and conditions. I'm going to say this again, that the subcontractor sends you back with their quote. Okay. These companies have a certain way of how they do business, which a lot of time is not like what the government is asking. And so that's a conflict. You have to stop in your tracks before you move forward and let them know, hey, I understand this is how you run your business, but this is the requirement, okay? That way it doesn't catch you at the end. Make sure when you're reviewing the technical response that it is in line with what the government is asking for in the scope. While you're bidding, while you're going through this bidding process, this is a working draft. Okay. So there may be some things outdated that that the subcontractor lets you know about. Immediately when you find that information out, you take it to the contract specialist. They may have to modify it. All right. So make sure what you're turning in is in line with what the government is asking for. Okay? Turn it in. Once you turn it in, you should already be working on your next two. So simultaneously, you could be working on 3 solicitations at a time, 3 separate or the same solicitations at a time. It's doable. No matter what you got going on, if you follow the steps that I've given you today, it's doable. Okay. Make sure you're tracking. You're looking for updates, because they'll put the updates in SAMS. They don't necessarily send you an email and say, hey, we put an update out there. So you have to constantly be checking for updates. Okay. So that also should tell you timing. Because you're the lead of this project, you have to tell the subcontractors what it is that you need from them. They're not gonna know. Okay. So if I know I got to turn this stuff in by a certain day and time, right? I'm not going to wait until the last minute to get this information back from the subcontract. Okay. That's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen.